The word hypothesis is a combination of two words, hypo and thesis. Hypo means less than. Hypothesis means, therefore, less than a thesis. While a thesis is a proposition to be proved or defended, a hypothesis can be referred to as a reasonable guess or thesis which, although derived from some sort of evidence, is yet to be tested or proved. It is a statement which gives an insight into what you expect to be the outcome of your study, regarding the variables contained and investigated in the statement of the problem. A hypothesis is a statement temporarily accepted as true in the light of what is, at the time, known about a phenomenon, and it is employed as a basis for action in the search for new truth. A hypothesis is a tentative assumption drawn from knowledge and theory, which is used as a guide in the investigation of other facts and theories that are yet unknown. It is a guess, supposition or tentative inference as to the existence of some fact, condition or relationship relative to some phenomenon which serves to explain such facts as already are known to exist in a given area of research, and to guide the search for new truth. A hypothesis states what we are looking for. A hypothesis looks forward. It is a proposition which can be put to a test to determine its validity. It may prove to be correct or incorrect. A hypothesis is a tentative generalization the validity of which remains to be seen. In its most elementary stage, the hypothesis may be any hunch, guess, or imaginative idea which becomes the basis for further investigation. A hypothesis is therefore a shrewd, an intelligent guess, a supposition, inference, hunch, provisional statement or tentative generalization as to the existence of some fact, condition or relationship relative to some phenomenon which serves to explain already known facts in a given area of research, and to guide the search for new truth on the basis of empirical evidence. The hypothesis is put to the test for its tenability and for determining its validity. A. Importance of hypothesis. Hypothesis has a very important place in research, although it occupies a very small space in the body of a thesis. It is almost impossible for a research worker not to have one or more hypotheses before proceeding with his/her work. If he is not capable of formulating a hypothesis about his/her problem, he may not be ready to undertake its investigation. The aimless collection of data is not likely to lead him/her anywhere. The importance of a hypothesis can be more specifically stated as under 1. It provides direction to research. It defines what is relevant and what is irrelevant. Thus, it prevents the review of irrelevant literature and the collection of useless or excessive data. It not only prevents wastage in the collection of data, but also ensures the collection of the data necessary to answer the question posed in the statement of the problem. 2. It sensitizes the investigator to certain aspects of the situation which are relevant from the standpoint of the problem at hand. It spells the difference between precision and haphazardness, between fruitful and fruitless research. 3. It is a guide to the thinking process and the process of discovery. It is the investigator's eye, i.e. a sort of guiding light in the world of darkness. 4. It gives research a focus. Without it, research would be like a random and aimless wandering. 5. It prevents blind research. Prevents indiscriminate gathering of data, which may later turn out to be irrelevant. 6. It sensitizes the individual to facts and conditions that might otherwise be overlooked. 7. It places clear and specific goals before us. These clear and specific goals provide the investigator with a basis for selecting samples and research procedures to meet these goals. 8. It serves the function of linking together related facts and information and organizing them into one comprehensible whole. 9. It enables the investigator to understand with greater clarity his problem and its ramifications, as well as the data which bear on it. It further enables a researcher to clarify the procedures and methods to be used in solving his problem, and to rule out methods which are incapable of providing the necessary data. 10. It serves as a framework for drawing conclusions. It makes possible the interpretation of data in the light of a tentative proposition or a provisional guess. It provides the outline for stating conclusions in a meaningful way. B. Characteristics of a hypothesis. To serve its intended purposes and to be up to the mark in view of its great importance, the hypothesis must possess a number of characteristics, which are: 1. A good hypothesis is in agreement with the observed facts. A single unexplained conflict between fact and hypothesis is disastrous to the latter. A hypothesis is entirely plausible and conceivable. It is based directly on existing data. The investigator should not omit the evidence contrary to his own opinion, should not build his argument from positive instances and neglect the negative cases, should not argue from a limited number of instances, and should not make suppositions from insufficient data. 2. A good hypothesis does not conflict with any law of nature which is known to be true. The idea involved in this principle is not very different from that expressed in the preceding principle. We know that there are a number of conflicting theories of learning and teaching. These conflicts arise partly out of the failure of research workers to produce hypotheses that are in agreement with fact and are not in conflict with any law of nature. When we say that there can be a memory tablet for strengthening memory, we are trying to disprove well-established laws of nature. 3. A good hypothesis is expert. It is stated in a scientific and research-like language and is not an ordinary statement. 4. A good hypothesis is stated in the simplest possible terms. It is also called the principle of economy. The ultimate generalization of a science should be reduced to the simplest possible form. It is not a literary statement. The number of hypotheses must also not be needlessly multiplied. The more insight the researcher has into the problem, the simpler will be his hypothesis about it. 5. A good hypothesis permits the application of deductive reasoning. It should be verifiable and testable. A hypothesis cannot be verified until deductions can be made from it which are capable of empirical verification. It should be capable of being proved or refuted. 6. It should be so designed that its test will provide an answer to the original problem which forms the primary purpose of the investigation. It should be related to available knowledge or theory concerning the original problem area. 7. It must be stated in final form early in the experiment before any attempt at verification is made. See types of hypotheses. Hypotheses can be classified as either inductive or deductive. Any hypothesis statement based on mere observation, and not based on any verifiable data or evidence, but used for predictions, is an inductive hypothesis. But any hypothesis that is testable and based on the collection and analysis of relevant data to support or reject is deductive. There are two main forms of stating a statistical hypothesis. The statistical hypothesis states an expected relationship between the numbers representing statistical properties of data, such as the mean, variance, and correlation. This hypothesis is a guess about the value of a population parameter or about the relationship between values of two or more parameters that the hypothesis is testing. The statistical hypotheses consist of the null hypothesis, H0, and the alternative hypothesis, H1. An example of a statistical hypothesis can be stated as follows. The mean difference scores in social psychology by students in the open and distance learning and those in the full-time program at the Rusangor is 0. 1. The null hypothesis. The null hypothesis states that there is no difference between the variables studied. The aim of testing is to show that the hypothesis is false and thereby accept the alternative hypothesis. The null hypothesis refers to the guess the researcher tests and hopes to prove wrong, reject, or nullify. The null hypothesis states that no relationship exists between the variables studied. Confirmation of the research hypothesis is based on rejecting the null. For example, there is no significant difference in the academic performance of students who attend private schools and those who attend public schools in national examinations. If the researcher wishes to show that a difference exists in national examination performance among students in public and private schools, then the researcher must prove that there are no differences. The null hypothesis specifies the expected value of a single population parameter or the expected relationship between two or more parameters. The first step in testing a hypothesis is to make the assumption that there is no significant difference between variables or conditions being studied. This assumption is called null, and it refers to nothing or no relationship. Null is symbolized by H0. The aim of testing is to show that the hypothesis is false and thereby accept the alternative one. The null hypothesis states that no relationship exists between the variables being studied. Confirmation of the research hypothesis is based on rejecting the null. Examples: H01. There is no significant difference in the academic performance of students who attend private schools and those who attend public schools in national examinations. If the researcher wishes to show that a difference in performance exists in national examinations among students in public and private schools, then he or she must prove that there are no differences. Other examples are: H02. There is no significant difference between an individual's success in life and his/her academic certificates. H03. There is no significant difference between business locale and profit margin. H04. There is no significant difference in performance between female and male entrepreneurs. H05. There are no causes of abortion among secondary school students. H06. Abortion has no effects on secondary school students. H07. There is no significant difference between the managerial skills of male and female managers. Null hypotheses specify the expected value of a single population parameter or the expected relationship between two or more parameters. Therefore, it is important to note that all the hypotheses should be tested. There is no way a verdict can be passed without an investigation. 2. The alternative hypothesis. This hypothesis states a value or relationship, and it is different from the null. It asserts that the value of the relationship in the null is not true. In research, the null hypothesis is tested, and if rejected, the alternative hypothesis is accepted. The alternative hypothesis is the opposite of the null hypothesis, and it is symbolized by H1 examples. H1. There is a significant difference between the perception and attitude of entrepreneurs. H1. There is a significant difference between success in business and determination. H1. Teachers determine the success or failure of their students in life. Note: if the researcher's interest is in finding a difference only in a particular direction, then a directional hypothesis is used. A directional hypothesis states the relationship between the variables being studied, or the difference between experimental treatments that a researcher expects to emerge. For example, if a researcher is interested in finding out how teacher qualifications influence students' performance in mathematics in secondary schools, the directional hypothesis can be stated as follows. There is a positive and significant relationship between the qualification of teachers and student performance in mathematics in secondary schools. All stated hypotheses require testing. Therefore, it is imperative for a researcher to know that all the hypotheses should be backed up by evidence.